So today I'm with John Richter. John, welcome to Straight Talk.
Yeah, it's good to be with you, Jeff.
Yeah, I noticed on your biography you're an MME clinical lecturer, and I had to Google that. You're with Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. Beautiful place. Tell us what that is. An
Sure.
MME.
Sure. I was in industry for 20 years. I spent 8 years in the cleaning industry with organization by the name of KIVAC. But in 2014, I was invited to become a clinical faculty member at Miami University with my 20 years of experience and my background in the industry, in engineering and applied engineering, and then I was invited to teach at the university level and in 2014, and I teach classes such as statistical quality control, which is basically the Deming methodology for
Mhm.
approach to process improvement, process development, and eliminating variation and improving quality. Also teach senior design at Miami University, which is the application of the engineering tool sets to real projects and things like that. I've taught the basic engineering class, heat transfer, Six Sigma. I'm also involved heavily with the developing of a Six Sigma program at Miami University.
Well, very cool. I think I understand half of that. But what we want to talk about is what you know or what you can help with when it comes to um, measuring the results of cleaning, especially with this COVID-19 and
Sure.
really any type of contaminant. So
Right.
you and I were chatting earlier. It's all about what happens after cleaning, right?
Yes, and I think that that is absolutely critical in our cleaning processes of measurement of cleaning is so very important, and what we're doing. The question is are we effectively? I mean, when we understand the definition of cleaning, if you Dr. Michael Berry is such a great
Hmm.
person that I've met, and a lot of his work has been kind of a part of my mentorship in this area of cleaning. But the effective removal of unwanted matter is what we're about in terms of cleaning, and so we need to measure that. We need to, how effective are we at the removal? I mean, if we have 100 units of something there, did we move 50 of those units? Did we 50% of it, or did we remove 20% of it, or did we remove 80%, or did we remove 90%? And those are some of the questions that we need to ask and start asking concerning our cleaning processes. Are we effectively removing the matter and containing that, and then from the environments that we're cleaning?
So we have our frontline workers going in and they're doing what they do. They clean. So
Right.
you're saying that we need to go in after them and make sure they're doing it. How do you do that? What are some ways that can be measured? Because people in buildings, when they're back in them and things are kind of back to normal, in their mind they're going to wonder what's on my desk or what's on my phone. Or
Sure.
so what do you say?
And that's where it gets difficult. A lot of our cleaning measurements in the past have been, smell,
Visual.
what we see, but the reality is that many of these the unwanted matter that we're trying to get rid of from our environments you can't see them, right? They're so small
Hmm.
and so tiny. And just a quick fun fact: I went into a restaurant unnamed, and I said, "Hey, did you guys clean these tables?" And they said yes, and they had let us come in, and it was just when I was getting into doing ATP and measurement of clean, and so I took a swab and I swabbed this table, and I swabbed it. It looked perfectly clean. It was, they said, yeah, we cleaned it, and I swabbed this space and put it in the meter, and it came up to like 3,000 ATP, which is just crazy filthy, just tons of biocontaminants on that surface. And I don't know what it was, but I checked it again and verified it. Yep, this is completely dirty, but it looked clean. And that's the scary thing about it, and that's what we're dealing with. And that's why I think measurement, especially something that measures something like ATP, which is actually at the cell level, right? It's adenosine triphosphate, and it's only found in biological matter, if you will, is, I think, so effective and so important. And so it actually verifies at the cellular level how clean a surface is.
So did you eat your lunch there or what?
No, at least not at that table. Let me say that. To be
Yeah.
honest, I ended up cleaning it, and then I was like, and then I took a measurement again afterwards, and I was like, okay, now we're in business.
You were doing some
So
science right there,
yeah, exactly,
restaurant. Yeah, I
exactly.
want to know which restaurant it is, but I guess that wouldn't be fair to name that.
No,
Um, but it could be a lot of places,
right.
because these workers, they go in there and they clean, and like you said, they spray their product, they use their towel, looks good, and move on. It's different now, though. Things are going to be changing.
Sure. And I think, and this is good. This is something that we've been preaching for a long time is we really need to question and challenge our cleaning methodologies. Um, there was a study that I presented earlier, and just to summarize, which was a real eye opener for me, was when we went into classrooms, we started cleaning desktops and taking measurements, and I was using a kind of spray and wipe with a microfiber towel, and when I got to the last four desks in a classroom, when I took the measurements before cleaning, they were a certain level, but then after cleaning, they actually had increased in their ATP loads on that surface, telling me that I'm actually cross contaminating, right?
Hmm.
My cleaning tool is getting saturated with soil and then depositing that back out on the ladder desks instead of actually removing. And those are the kind of things that are eye opening when you start to measure. And my encouragement, I would have everyone challenge how our methodologies, we need to, right? I mean, this is how improvement takes place. Improvement begins with questioning. It begins with challenging. It begins to say, is there a better way of doing this and more effective in terms of removing unwanted matter?
Very good. So, the another comment or two. What's the solution for a cleaning contractor or a facility? They have to buy. You mentioned ATP meters. That's an option, and that's not too expensive, I suppose, but you have to use them. Anything else that they can do?
Um, yeah, I mean, I would highly recommend that for the cleaning industry, one, to begin to question their processes and
Right.
how they're cleaning touch points, how they're cleaning floors, how they're cleaning critical areas that are common touch points. Floors are an interesting one because what do? I take my purse or I take my things fall on the floor all the time, and especially in the restroom, and that's the biohazardous waste transfer station. I mean, it's everyone's visiting there, and I've got it's the supreme place for cross contamination to occur, and the floor is right in the mix of that. So but how are we doing that? And
Yeah, that's
then
what I want to
you
know.
know right, and so how challenging our cleaning methods, and then I'm saying measure. We talked about purchasing ATP meters. We talk about bringing in hygienists. We talk about there's different ways of doing things. If we're not going to measure, at least we need to do our research in terms of the most effective ways of cleaning certain specific surfaces that have been measured and proven with data. Right? We're data driven in terms of our approach, rather than just going, oh yeah, that works, that works, that works. Right?
Yeah,
So
and I've heard you speak at the series symposiums, and you cover this very well. So, um, let me ask you this question: If you, or let's say your facility there, Miami University,
right.
if you do your cleaning in that classroom you're talking about, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and you do your testing, and you figure out that that day it worked, your numbers are good, can
Right.
you assume that the same cleaning will be okay the next day and so on, or do you have to keep testing? Because that can be
Yeah, I think
expensive.
that those are great questions. Those are excellent questions, and it kind of flows right into, I teach statistical quality control, and we do this a lot of times in process management. I mean, cleaning is a process, and what we're trying to do is control the effectiveness of the outcomes. Right? We want the least amount of variation in that process, and so repeatable procedures and all those kind of things. We're applying those same things at the manufacturing level. But a lot of times we do spot checking, right? We can't afford, we don't have the resources to do 100% inspection. And so we have to do some kind of acceptance sampling is what we like to call it. And we sample that, and then we can infer from that what the population is going to be like based on that sampling. And so we apply those same
Okay.
methodologies. And again, that sounds complicated, but it's really not. It's basically going in, maybe we're spot checking weekly, maybe we're spot checking monthly, maybe we're running into that. But there is an accountability and there's measurement, and we're tracking that. Are you with me?
I
And
am.
so, every organization is going to have a different level of that. And I think as, maybe it's different when you bring on a new employee, for example, right? If you have seasoned employees who understand the processes and they've been measured over and over again and have proven, then I'm going to reduce the amount of measurement on them. But I might increase that for a new employee. So, I mean, this is a business, right? And we have to, we have to make smart decisions in terms of how we manage our resources effectively in that.
Yeah, it's good information. It sounds like from what you've said that your upfront costs and to create all this might be a little more significant than the ongoing maintenance. But
Right.
peace of mind is what we're looking for, because those that use the buildings we maintain are going to question a lot of things
Right.
moving forward.
Well, and I see measurement as a differentiator, right? I mean,
Mm,
how am I going to differentiate myself from the person next? I mean, cleaning, everyone looks at cleaning. Cleaning is cleaning. I mean, let's just be honest. That's what they say. It's like, but it's not. We know that that's not true, right?
true.
That if I clean a table and you clean a table, we might get totally different results in terms of how we do that and the process we employ and the technology that we use and the chemicals and all that kind of stuff. And so, it's not, cleaning is not just cleaning. So how do I differentiate myself from the next person? And I do that with measurement. I mean, it's like, hey, I'm not going to just clean it. I'm going to show you that it's clean. And I think it's a great selling tool coming out of this environment that are in, where, man, everyone understands that cleaning is significant in terms of the spread of disease and avoiding cross contamination and things like that. And so there's going to be a real driving push there. And so I see measurement as a real way, and it's a really actually not very expensive way. I mean, we're talking a few $1,000s and a couple dollars for every swab kind of thing. And so I think it's very affordable and effective. And it sounds, I use big terms and big words, but in reality, it's really pretty simple.
Well, this is great information, John. Appreciate your time. Let's do lunch, but you bring the meter.
Okay,
We'll
I'll
test
measure
this
the
too.
table first before we sit down, and then we'll have a comfort level in it, and maybe we might move from that. Let's not sit there. Let's sit over here.
Well,
So,
your expertise will be valuable at that lunch whenever that happens.
sounds great, Jeff.
All right, John. Thanks for your time.
All right, have a good day.